Obviously, I know that this house means a lot to you. This is quite a big decision you've made. There's a lot of story, a lot of history with this particular property, which is why we've invited you on camera. I think there's no one better to talk about this property than you. So take us to the start.
Colin and I found this property. We were local down at Mount Warren Park, and Col was very much an environmentalist, so we did a whole model for sustainability. Colin had a background of own a building with his parents with their mud brick house, so I went to an auction. I found some marine pylons, and suddenly we were having a pole home. We just acquired pieces along the way. We saw opportunities, and we had the ability to modify the plan as we went.
You also mentioned that the plans changed obviously quite a bit throughout. The house was supposed to be a lot bigger, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were building in pods. This pod was well and truly on the way. It had all the framing done. It had the straw bale walls up. They were rendered. The roof was on. And Colin just said to me one night, he says, you know, I've got a pain here in my ribs. And I'm like, yeah, you pulled a muscle, you know, lifting heavy stuff. And a week later, the doctors said he had cancer and had 3 weeks to live without treatment. But I lost him, and I had to change my plan because I was never going to leave it unfinished. It was his home. It was our home.
One of my favourite things about this house is not only sustainability, but pretty much every piece has a story, or it's been recycled or come from somewhere, which I think is really cool. Obviously, we mentioned that most of the house, if not all of the house, is recycled or come from somewhere. One of the things I do love is the doors, the pivot doors at the front as well. Where did these guys come from?
They were a set of 3 doors that were together as sliding doors for a retail shop. Colin put these wonderful pivots on them so we could just open them up. And then the 3rd one we put into the bathroom. Kevin was doing an extension, and he had this beautiful old eucalypt up the back. And I just looking at this and I'm going, Col, that's our bathtub. We cut off one end. I wanted that little jaggy end down there to show the history of the original cut. We had a crane here to put the ridge beam. So when he put that in, he also came in and he dropped the bathtub here. Once it was in situ, it was chainsawed out. And then here we are, pretty sherry on the windowsill.
But tell us about this. Where did this come from and what is it?
Well, it's a old cast iron oven. Colin was doing some engineering down at Movie World, and they were using it as a prop.
Well, it's a gorgeous place to put it too, because we know you do have a little seating there, but this is gorgeous seating space in the middle, which has more history. But outside is a piece that you created. Tell us about the ute. What's growing out of it?
This was the ute that we built the house with. Yeah. So I pulled in at the landscaping shop and I said, fill up the back with dirt. And while he's doing that, I've got a bucket and I'm like filling up the passenger wheel well and filling up the passenger front seat. And this guy's just cracking himself. But it's now at the point it's pushing the door out at the bottom.
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Now there's so much. We could spend days walking around this property, every piece of it, talking about every part. But there's a little lean-to next to the main property that you guys have been using, I guess, as a guest bedroom. I think you lived in it for a little bit, didn't you? If I remember correctly.
For a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah. I ended up being here for about 16 years.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's so comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
I've got the pot-belly stove, I've got the great view and outlook, and it's now my guest room and my art room, and it's a lean-to, but it's just too handy to knock over. I love it.
One of my favourite things about all this is actually the pieces of history you've got sitting around, and my favourite is, of course, what the original plan was going to be. Someone could recreate this, right, if they really wanted to. I love that when buyers are going to come, they're going to be able to come in and we're going to be able to show them the history of what was possible and the story behind this. The way you guys have done those pivot doors is you look straight through it, straight out to the view. But what I wanted to ask, if the perfect buyer was to walk in front of you right now, what would be one thing you would want them to know before they moved in?
Look, what we did was we combined some really hard yakka, a lot of love, and we created something that's got soul. And I just hope that they get to actually feel that soul when they come into the home.